Sorry for the delay in the timings. As I mentioned, my place, especially in the Bangalore, a lot of from morning it is raining continuously, and there was a power issue here. And however, till 8 o'clock, somehow the backup came into help, and suddenly even that also, like, there was a problem in that also. That is the reason I should be arranging the other one. That is the reason I just delayed for some other time. Yeah, so let us quickly start with the session. Before that, as I mentioned, have you completed the previous task which I had given? One was that you should create the table which I have shown in the paint screen. Two tables were there, and I have seen that most of you have put the output screen. You have executed. Few are still facing up the issue. It's okay if you are facing up the issue. For me, the major concern is you should try. That was my major concern, but however you have done means it is very good. That is a reason, because see, when I demonstrated, what people felt, oh, it is so easy. But when you are typing that, when you're writing a query, first time when you executed, at least if you have some idea about SQL, somehow you could have managed. But if you're writing it for first time, 100% here and there you would have done mistake, you would have got the error message. So that is a difference which you have to understand. When you see me explaining it, it seems to be very easy. Oh, that's it. No, Aram say before the interview, one day night, before night, I'll sit and study. This is what you will feel. But no, absolutely a wrong approach. If in case you have to clear the SQL questions, you have to sit and practice properly. On the daily basis, you have to revise it. The more questions you solve, the more queries you write, it will help you out for clearing the interview. That is a reason in a session, more of a concepts, just 10 to 15 minutes concepts will be there. The remaining will be completely a practical session. Even though I am not handling it, I would always post a few questions where you have to sit and solve it. It will take 40 to 45 minutes always. So I have designed the questions in such a way that all the topics will be covered. So that is the reason, concepts wise, what I have to teach, how many questions I have to teach, or different types I will be teaching it, and few queries also I have to be teaching you, because you don't know how the syntax to be written, right? So that part I will take care. From your end, whatever questions as an assignment I will post in the group, no, that you have to practice. So if you're doing it, sometimes it so happens like this. Whatever query you have written, no, you will feel, oh, this is an exact correct query. You will be, because whatever query you will write, some output you will get, because whatever query you have written, based on that output will be coming. But is it that that output is expected? That is important. So whatever I'm telling, day by day you will get to know. One of your friend is asking you that the constraints are most important. See, it's not like the with respect to interview, if you ask me, I would always say one question will be there from the constraints. But most of, like, the basic rules start from the constraints. Means if you have to design any table, you should know constraints. Simply you cannot create. Yesterday, whatever assignment I told, that you should create a table like this. One was employee, what was that, worker details, like this I gave, no. So if you just create the table like that, nobody will feel that it's a good approach. It was just only to take a hands-on experience to create the table, I gave that. Today you will understand what are the rules we should follow in order to create the table. Is that clear to all? So today I think a Java class also was not there at 8 o'clock, if I'm not wrong. So the one who are attending Java, for them Java was not there, right?
It was there, ma'am.
It was there. Okay, fine. But 7 to 8 you didn't had any class. You what did you people do in that time period? Say watched TV, enjoyed using the reels. I know internally yes is the answer, but here if you have to type, you will tell no. But whatever, why I'm asking this question is, here today you didn't had a session at that particular time. That time was dedicated for a session. So hardly 5 to 10 minutes, if you would have taken your time, at least to Google. Okay, instead of me chatting or wasting my time for other work, I could have Googled something. Okay, what are the skill interview question? Not only a question, if you would have Googled 100 information, you will get. Only on one website, if you click and see, at least 10 question out of it, if you would have read, then when I would have taken sessions, automatically that question will come to your mind. Oh yeah, this is one of the interview question. More than I say it is an interview question, when you have gone through that as an interview question, you will feel more interesting, and you will feel that yes, this I have to learn. You will feel that importance. Not only with the SQL, I'm telling, whenever you are free, I gave you this tip long back. When I started my first session, I told whenever you are getting free time, 1 hour free time you had, 5 minutes for studies if you would have kept. Maybe not the SQL. No, ma'am, I'm not interested in the SQL. Okay, then I'm completely fine with that. You have to prepare for interview for Java also, for testing also. At least you could have Googled for that. Okay, no ma'am, I am not interested to go through the interview question of technical. Okay, non-technical HR questions are there. Every day, two questions you read, you give your own answers. With that, you will improvise your communication skill. Along with that, you will overcome the fear how to answer those HR questions. See, this is how you can prepare for interview step by step. It doesn't mean that it is like your university's exam. Tomorrow exam, today night, whole night you'll sit and read everything, and tomorrow you will vomit that. No, it can never happen. Interviewer will never have the blueprint that what kind of question from where he will ask. There is no dead end for this syllabus. Whatever he feels, he will ask. So have this mindset. Whenever you're sitting for studying something, even it is only for 5 minutes, keep an alarm for 5 minutes. Dedicate that 5 minutes only for revising or seeing some productive things, like that. If the rest of the time you spend with your family, more than TV or mobile or anything like that, you spend time with family. That is what I can tell. Yes, coming back to the session, let me just share the screen. Now onwards, concepts will be increasing day by day, so you should be thorough with that. Let me just share the screen. Just give me a minute. Here is it. The one who are still facing up the issue, or you have the issue to execute or all that, yes, day by day you will also get to know. I again appreciate the students who are engaging yourself. I'm observing those candidates also. So good that you are interacting in the groups. Yeah. Yeah. So yesterday I told that one important point, or the most important concept we will be learning in the session tomorrow, that was a constraint, right? So according to the meaning, the constraint is nothing but a limitation, or I can say in the SQL, when I say constraints, it is nothing but the set of rules applied on the table. Or I can more specifically, if I have to tell, on a column, if I have to apply some set of rule, then I have to be going with something called as constraints. You being like when you are sitting in a session of SQL, treat that you are a SQL, that is a database developer, database analyst. So your complete concentration, how you should think is that you are a developer now. You are working under a database. Then what are things you should follow as a rule? That is how you have to think. Okay. So suppose I will have some columns or maybe table like this. Let me just go back to Paint. I'll just design one new table. Kindly do observe. Hardly the session is for 1 hour. I want all your time here. Leave everything for some time. Just pay attention. I'll consider 2 tables. One, employee, where the table consists of few columns like this: name, ID. Someone asked that to change the background of notepad. It was dark and I made it fair now. So I think it is fair enough to, it is visible properly to all. So employee details. Yeah, like this, two tables I'll consider. I told you on the previous day only, when we are designing the tables, in one table, hardly 10, a maximum 10 is a worst case, which they have it in the industry. But if you want no, ma'am, I will increase. Okay, hardly here and there 12 columns maximum you can push, but nobody will do that. Hardly they keep it with very limited, like 6 or 7, like that columns they will keep in one table. So why we should not be keeping like that multiple tables? I mentioned it very clearly yesterday. Lot of data duplicacy will come. There is a concept called as normalization. Again, that is also a set of rules to create the tables. We will understand that at the end of the SQL sessions. Lastly, we will come to that. But now, as I mentioned, in this employee table, I have 3 columns. One is name, ID, salary. There could be a multiple other columns also. Let us limit for these 3 columns now. So I would now tell there is a name. Maybe I'll tell the name of employee is Ankit. Then I'll consider Balu. Then I'll consider maybe Catherine, like that Deepak. Like this I have considered. Do you think that there cannot be 2 Deepak in one company? What I mean is that in one company with the same name, 2 employees cannot be there? Or will there not be a situation where 2 employees will have the same name? 100% there would be a chance that there could be 2 or more employees with the same name. Agree, all of you? Good. So this is one case which I have in this column. In this name column, I have the informations of those employees where the names are like this. Okay. Similar to that, I would also consider salary. Maybe Ankit is getting 25K, Balu is getting 24K, then Catherine is getting 35K, Deepak 25K, and one more Deepak is 24K. Like this, I would segregate it. Now, is it that something that salary which I have mentioned, 25,000 for Ankit also, 25,000 for Deepak also. Now, is it that something that one employee is getting 25,000? Because of that, I cannot give the same 25,000 to other employee. Any rules are there like that? No, that depends on the individual performance. They have the basic salary like this, for intern one salary, for the trainee one salary, for the trainer one salary, like this. They have a segregation, they have a standards in the industry. So based on that, the salary will be credited to the respective employees. There I cannot pinch in and say that no, salary should be unique, salary should not be duplicated. I cannot say this way. So when I cannot say this way, 100% in that column, I cannot keep any rules like that. So in this particular situation, there could be a situation where I have to be filling up other details of employee. Means one table of employee consists of 3 columns: name, ID, salary, basic information. Much more in detail information of an employee. Say suppose something like this, spouse information. If employee insurance has to be made, sometimes it would be given to a parents and the spouse means if you are a male, a female, that is your wife details should be given. If you are a female, then your husband details has to be given, like that. So spouse details or the parents details, I'll just mention it here. Parents, for the insurance, they collect these information, and maybe something like PF details, like this. A few more details in like more details of an employee will be maintained. More personal details of an employee will be maintained in a separate table. This is how I am taking it. So in this particular situation, if I consider, okay, what is the name of a employee, I would just tell Deepak. When I say Deepak, and don't you think, well, I entered the spouse name, assume that the Deepak spouse name is Aarti and parents name is somewhat like some details I'll give over there. But when I say Deepak and the spouse name as Aarti, is this Aarti is a wife of the first Deepak or the second Deepak? There could be a confusion because there is a duplicacy in the data. Means there is a repetition of a same data there. So in this situation, I cannot go with the name because name might be repeated in the column. Okay, if not name, I'll go with the salary. Okay, what is a Deepak salary? It is 25,000. I'll tell whichever employee is getting 25,000. No, his wife name is Aarti. If I say that, it seems to be the wrong details over there. There could be one employee or there could be a number of employees who will be getting 25,000. Now, every 25,000 employees' wife name will be Aarti. No, so it's a meaningless. Why? Because salary also will be repeated. Agree with me, everybody? Yes, in this situation, neither I can go with this or I can go with the salary. With what kind of information I would be going? I should be going with some information which should be unique, which should not be repeated. I repeat, I would go with such data which will be unique and which will not be repeated, which will not be empty, in other words. Okay, so what is this? Now, if you consider your maybe a student ID, when you are writing your exam, there would be a roll number or there would be exam ID which would be given to you. Is it the other person also, if you are absent for your exam, will that same ID will be given to your friend? No, it's a unique ID given to you. You want to see your results, you should go for that. You want to see the other semester's result, then you have to go with that. So there would be unique ID given to you. Based on that ID only you are identified. You join to an industry now. There are many working professionals in the session who are working in their respective companies. They have their own employee ID, and that ID is not given to, same ID is not given to any others. It is a unique ID. Anybody here who have the empty ID? Means ID card is given but no ID number. No, some ID number should be given, and that should be unique. Okay. See, otherwise, there one more statement which I can make it is, if you consider your PAN numbers, Aadhaar card numbers, only one object is created for every numbers. Your PAN number, if you lose your PAN card, when you reapply for it, you will get the same different card, but the number will be same. If you misplace your Aadhaar card, and if you just take the one more copy of it, definitely you will get a different card, but the same number you will get. Means that ID, once it is generated, that's it. It is meant only for you throughout your lifetime. You die also, the same ID will be there for you. That's it. That ID will not be repeated to a other person. So in this kind of situation where I have to identify one entity or one value or a one detail here, one record here, then I should have the ID information, a unique number information. That time I have to put one condition. If I don't put any condition, machine will be giving me the chance to enter same number again and again. I can give one like this if I don't put any condition on this ID. But if I don't want to take like that, then I should be keeping one condition. What is that condition? I would tell this ID, whatever I have, as it is a unique number. It should be unique number. Not only unique, along with that, it should not be null. I would tell it should not be null. Instead of telling it should be unique, it should not be null. Means null means nothing, like it should not be empty is what the meaning I am telling. Technically, when we say null, it is nothing. Okay. So I have to tell my machine where the Oracle in this employee table, wherever I have this ID, when whenever the like developer is giving few values on this column, the attributes, when he is filling up in this, he should make sure it should be unique, it should be not null, it should not be empty. These two respective condition he should follow. If I have to tell that, I should use these two constraints. Means I should tell, when I'm creating the table ID should be unique, ID should be not null. Like this, I should give the condition. But don't you think the same ID I should be using for employee details also? Why, ma'am? We can use name also, we can use salary also. No, why ID only? I gave the example. If you use salary, duplication is there. 25,000's wife and all, a name is Aarti. Wrong meaning. Deepak wife is Aarti. Wrong meaning, because multiple data, multiple Deepaks might be there. Currently, it is not there. Okay. But maybe in the future, somebody will join with the same name. That time there would be a problem. So I should not create a table which will create a problem. It could be currently or in the future. I should have that mindset. In any a day, there should be no problem in creating the table. Retrieving the data. In that situation, there should be no confusion. Like that, we should create the table. So if that is the case, then I should use this ID also. I should use this ID in my employee details also. Agree, all of you? Huh. Now, think and answer. First time ID where you will generate, is it in the employee table or is it in the employee details table?
Employee details table.
Employee details table or employee table? Suppose you think this way. Yeah. So the way I have asked the question, you will get confused. Maybe think like this. Suppose you didn't had this employee table. Will you be able to fill this employee details table? If you don't have the employee table only, see, understand, it is very important. I know many a times, even today, if you Google in an interview questions of SQL, they'll ask you about the primary keys, foreign key, candidate key, many keys are there. We will understand about it. But what is the requirement of it that you should understand? So only I told I don't want to miss the today's class. So if I wanted to, like I'm stressed with this, I'm mentioning that so many times, means you have to get that clarity. That is the reason I'm telling, leave any other work if you're doing, understand my question. Arnab is saying that actually in both of the tables will have the employee ID. Good, Arnab. My question is, employee ID, employee table, if I don't have, do you require this employee details? Suppose Ankit is not there. Ankit is not there in your company. Do you require to fill Ankit's spouse name, parents name, PF name? No, right? Okay. If that employee exists, then only his details I will fill in this secondary table. Agree, all of you now? That means I would consider this employee table as a main table. It starts from there. Root table is employee. In the very first class, I told whatever we are understanding now, Oracle database is relational database management system. So why this relational came into existence? Now, one point I would tell. So I am saying that this ID should be unique and not null. I can either tell employee table, inside that ID column, should have the constraint. Please listen to the terms which I'm telling. I repeat, in my database of employee table, there is a column called as ID, which has a constraint, which has a condition, which has a rule that the data I enter inside the ID should be unique and not null. Directly, I can give two conditions by using this two set of reserved words, unique, not null. But I should or I will be using this unique ID in further table also. It could be employee details, it could be in one more table I have. There also I might be using this ID. So in that case, what I would do is I have to build some relationship between these two tables. When I have to build some relationship between two tables, I have to make use of key here. What is that key? Whenever you want to tell one column as just unique and not null, directly you can use this unique and not null keyword in the column creation. Okay, how to create the column? Yesterday only I showed. First you should tell create table, table name, inside that the column name and column data type. This yesterday I have taught you. Okay, now I should be telling that ID should be unique and not null. Along with that, one more relationship it should achieve. In other table also I might use this ID. So I should be telling that here whatever ID I am using, this is the primary key which I will be using. I would just mention this is the primary key which I will be using. What is this primary key? This is a constraint which is used in a table to indicate the value is unique and not null. I repeat again, this is a constraint or this is a condition or a rule which we are keeping on a table on a particular column to indicate the value is unique and not null. If I tell primary key in a further table wherever I would use that column, So if suppose, just a minute, if I'm using it here, then I should be telling this is a column which already created in a previous table, in a main table. I would be just using the same numbers here for a reference. Means if you're using it for a reference, you're not regenerating here. You are using it from main table to the other table for the requirement. Then you are referencing here. You are referencing here. Whenever you are referencing from a different table, that ID, we will be calling it as foreign key. Means this is not made here. This is somewhere present and you are just using it from that particular table. This is how we follow the rules to create the particular column. The first two things which you have understood is all about a primary key and foreign key. Just a sample example I have given. Maybe now lot of doubts will come. Ma'am, this way it is possible or that way is possible. How to create all that? It's okay. If doubts are coming, very good, because you are thinking. If doubts are coming, I'm telling you, your concentration is somewhere in a different level. So doubt should be there. When the doubt arises, 100% you will try that. That is important for me, where that your doubts can be cleared at least. If you're not trying it out, you will never think. If you never think in an interview, when the person is asking, that time you will think and you will not get an answer. This is what will happen in the interview. So do think whenever I'm explaining. Will this be a possible? Will this be? You should be keep on thinking when I'm explaining. Okay. So I'll just consider now Ankit is a employee whose ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like this, I'll tell. These are the IDs. Maybe the Deepak, I'll consider the employee ID first. Then I'll tell 2. Then I'll tell 3. Then I'll tell 1. Then I'll tell 4. Like this, in whichever order I want. According to that, I will arrange. Later, I can sort it. But I want these members to be added first in my this one, the employee details, their role, their management, all that different table you will understand now. Since I have taken one simple table, it is not much clear, but assume that I would be using that same details. I am not generating here, rather I am just using same numbers here for my further details to be filled. So I am telling this is my primary key, this is my a foreign key, like that I am telling. So for that, what I'll do is I'll simply tell create table. Just observe all of you, create table. What is a table name? It is employee. It is employee. As usual, I will mention this. And then I have to put end it. And first column which I want to create it here is see, always make a habit in a table which I am representing. I have made my ID table in between. You can create like this, but this is not a standard way. Whichever we have it as a unique ID, unique numbers, that column should be always in the left hand side in the first as a first column. Ma'am, if I create it as a second column, will the table will not work? No, it's not like that. Table will work, but that is not a standard approach. You have the camel convention, right? Even though you write the class name in the lower case, the program works. Why you will write in uppercase? Because it's a standard, it's not a rule. I hope you know the difference between the convention and the rule. Rule is something that which you cannot break. If you break, there is a compilation error. uh, Convention is something that if you can break, but you should not be breaking it, because you will not be called as a good programmer. The same applies here. In the convention wise, we maintain this unique ID or the primary key in the topmost, I mean leftmost, the first as a first column. So I would tell here ID is a column name. Then we should tell what is the type of data we will be using. It is an integer. Yesterday I told data type, still not even a single point I have told. I have only mentioned two things. If it is a number, use int. If it is a mixture of numbers and alphanumeric, or it is only alphabets, then you go with the varchar2. What is in detail about that we will be discussing. So hold on till there. Next, after telling these two, we were ending up this. But no, this time we have to inform ID is a primary key. So I'll tell this primary key. Like this, I would be mentioning it. Till here, is it clear to everyone? If I ask you to create a table which has the primary key, have you got the syntax for that? Just column name, column data type, and the condition, that is constraint name, that is primary key. Okay, so after this I still have the columns, so I'll just keep it pending there. Coming back to this side, the other side, I have to create one more table. I'll tell create a table. What is a table name? The table name is employee details. I'll tell the same name so that no confusion will not be there. Employee details. In employee details, the first column which I want to mention is that employee, ID number. So I'll tell ID is a column name. What is a data type? Integer. But here it is not a a primary key, rather it is a foreign key. So I'll just mention that. So I'll tell it is foreign key. It is foreign key, and it is a foreign key from where this has been used, from which table. ID will be there in the employee table, employee details table, employee department table, or it could be in a different other table also. But where is that key present in, that referencing you should tell. I'll tell it is present in, or it is references by a table called as employee. In this table, it is present. Like this, I have to indicate. In this table, I have not completed it. I have to complete this foreign key statement. Still, I would not complete that. Please understand this part. We still have, it is still incomplete. I need to explain you few more things, but for currently I'm just making you to understand the syntax, the first syntax of it. Okay, so one side I have given the primary key wise, no problem, but the foreign key it is still pending, so keep it that way. But till here I hope it is clear. ID is a column name, the data type, and it is a foreign key, and then it is referencing to which table, that parent root table, that also we should be giving it here. This is what I am telling it. So till here, is it clear to everyone? Can we proceed ahead? Quickly response. Ma'am, can we use int or tiny int where tiny int is used? Yes, tiny int is one of the data type which we have. Shashi, that is what I have told. We will discuss the data types later. Our major concern today is all about constraints. I hope I'm clear. Yeah. So coming back to this, one major key, primary key, I hope it is clear. Now I'll move on to the next thing. What is that next thing is that in a table column, if you observe, if please observe here, in a table column, I can have a repetition. See, Deepak is repeated twice. Here also I have Deepak, here also I have Deepak, because it's a common sense that employee name can be repeated one or more times. Okay. Case can be, in this case also there is no problem of case sensitive in constraints. Just one note to everyone. Here, whatever I have mentioned, right? I will highlight. Whatever in green color I have, no, those are case sensitive. Oh, sorry, numbers I'll leave. Oh. Yeah, so wherever I have, yeah, so see where I'm using the sequence of characters, or where I have marked it as green, the values which I enter inside the table are only case sensitive. Ankit, if I have written A in uppercase, rest are in a lowercase, I should be using same thing while retrieving the data. If I say, please give me the salary of Ankit, then I should tell that Ankit in the same characters. If I change it as lowercase a n k I t, it will say there is no Ankit found. The data is not found. Means the values which I enter inside this table are only case sensitive. Rest everything in whichever case you want everything in uppercase, please do write. So only I have mismatched. See here, I have written primary key completely in uppercase. Here I have written the mixture of both. So there is no restriction in the when you are giving it, but it's a good habit that when you're writing the constraints, keep it all in uppercase. Standard, it's it. If you write the lowercase also, it is mandatory. You have to be it's not mandatory. It is up to you. However you want uppercase, lowercase, you can still write it. Okay. So we'll go for that syntax. That cases wise, because when I type it, you'll get to know. Coming back to this, we understood that the name can be repeated. Okay. Salary can be repeated. Okay. But Can you keep a name as empty? Suppose Ankit is not there, his ID is generated, his salary is generated. Will that be a case in any of the company? Without a name, or directly they'll consider you for the company. Will that be any situation? No. In every database, there would be a name mandatorily. There would be a repetition, okay, but there will not be a empty data. Agree, all of you? In that case, I have to be going with one more information or one more constraint. What is that? So say suppose I'll tell name. Name is what? A string or a sequence of characters. Maybe maximum I'll consider only for 10. And when I say this, I would put one more condition here. What is that one more condition? I would tell it is not null. When I put this condition, this is one constraint. Primary key, one constraint. Secondly, I'm speaking not null. It is one more constraint. When I say not null as one more constraint, we have to understand that when we are creating the table like this, when we try to leave this as an empty value, there would be a error thrown saying that you cannot, there is a value expected and you are not giving it, there is a missing expression, something like this, one error message you will get. Now if you leave and write, there is no problem, but if in case after putting this condition, if you leave empty, there would be a problem. So now the question will arrive, ma'am, for this instead of telling null, not null, no, we'll make it primary key. When you will make primary key, three things you should remember. When you want to make that column as unique values and there should be no empty values, not only that, the relationship or that particular ID or that particular column values somewhere in the other table you will reference. That time we should go with the primary key. But here for name, I'm not restricting for duplicates. I'm not restricting that I will reference somewhere. No, nowhere I'll reference the name. But I would tell that there should be no empty value. In that case, I would give that condition as just not null. This is one constraint. In interview, they'll ask you, please explain constraint in SQL. Please explain constraints in, can any table have multiple primary keys? Very good questions. Can there be a same question again? Good. I can see that there are people who are asking this question. No, I told you, no, we cannot have multiple columns in one table. I should be creating one table with one primary key. I repeat again, one situation will come when I go to the normalization. I'll speak. There is something called as candidate key, super key. There I'll tell one situation will come where we are supposed to create two columns, which I have to make it as primary key. But how to handle that, I'll tell. But direct question, can I create multiple columns by making it as primary key? I would tell no, you should not be making it. Can we make? The other question is a practical question which you have to check it by the end of the day. Good question. I wanted this question to be raised at this time. So I think Deepak and Santanu is on the correct path. Yeah, come back. But should we have to create? No, we will not be creating like that. Okay. I hope you got the answer. Can we create? Practical question. I want you to try it out. Yeah, come back to this. I have one more restriction here. For that, let me consider one more column. I'll tell age is one more column. And this is how I'll tell. So inside this, Ankit, the age of Ankit, maybe I'll tell it is 25. Balu, maybe I'll tell 16, or maybe 16 will not be there. 19, 28, 20, then 22, something like this. I'll consider just for a reference. I've given the different ages here. Now, I would tell, if you go to any company, do you find any employee whose age is less than 18? In any company, any employee whose age is less than 18, 100% no, their age will be definitely more than 18. Correct. So in this column, I should mandatorily fix some value. This is for sample example. The different column will be there. Nobody will have the age column in the employee table. But as I mentioned, that is one constraint which we can create to make you understand about that constraint. So I'll tell age is a table, a column value whose values are in integer. Then I would tell one more constraint. What is that constraint is? Check constraint. Inside this, like a function, we will be writing it. I have to tell what is that I have to check when a user is giving the value. I should check age is greater than or equal to 18. Only then accept the value. If it is not greater than or equal to 18, or no ma'am, I don't want to take 18 also, then you just remove that equal. Okay. So in this particular type of cases, we would consider, maybe I can tell like this in a password. When you're typing the password, do you remember they say this, it should consist of 10 characters. Have you seen when you're signing up or creating the password, most of the time it says that it should consist of so characters, one special symbol, one uppercase, one lowercase, and that is again different altogether. For me, for current scenario, if I have to give a situation, I can say that that password should consist of more than 6 characters or 6 symbols. That means if user is giving less than 6, I should not accept. Okay, so in that case, I can go with this condition telling that age should, when the user is giving the value, where the system should check that the age is greater than or equal to 18. Like this, I can consider. Okay. Then I have this salary. Maybe for salary, I don't keep any restriction. You want to keep any restriction, you keep. For a fresher, you want to keep it as 35,000 minimum salary only, that you can keep it. But usually it will, salaries conditions will not be there. This is how it goes on. That also you can do it on when you are creating your own database, no? According to your idea, you can create. I'm just giving this scenario. There could be one more column. Maybe I can consider it here. Okay, here only I'll tell. He is married. One example I'm giving. Most of you want to say yes only for this, but there could be a default answer who are not yet married. So then I would go with one condition, one constraint here. For example, you consider the university exam, there would be a column results. In the result column, fail or pass is a value which I have to be filling up. That time 90% will be they are pass in the exam. Here and there who have scored less marks are, their results will be fail. So if I am giving the value there, I cannot sit and type for everyone pass, 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 pass. So that time what I'll do, for such candidates whose value I'm giving as fail, only that should be written. Rest of them by default it should be false. This is how I would consider. Any other example which you can give for default value? Think for a default value when in the databases. Think where which you can give it as a default value is married. Now, as I considered here, by default, it will be no. To whomsoever I give the value as S, only for them, it will be S. So I will not keep on entering for everybody. S, I mean, for no for everyone. So like that situation, I'll consider. Okay. Maybe if I consider something like this, 90, if you are filling up the very good disability again, 90%, I mean 99%, when you're applying for an interview, one checklist will be there, where checkbox will be there, where you have to fill that. If in case you have any disability, you have to click on this, else you can go with the normal one, like that means you don't have the problem here. Okay, so that is one thing which you can consider. So again, I think now you are getting an idea where you have to go with this last condition here. Maybe I'll tell the last condition which I want to consider is the column name is married, or maybe I'll consider, as I say, that of disability only here. That is more near to the constraint. Ability. Answer is no by default. If anybody gives the answer as yes, then only for that I should be giving. So the most of the answer for this is no only. So I'll keep it by default as no. The rest of them as, I will like the one who fills as S, only for them I'll give the value as S. Okay. So here the column name is disability. You can create your own table, your own thing, I mean this one, whatever whichever column you want to give this condition, you can create it. Okay, disability, and the value I'll tell the type is varchar2. Not only that, the size of this maximum 3. And then I have to give a condition. The condition which I'm giving now is default. What is the default value which I want to give? Yes or no? What is the default value I should give for this disability? One more. Nationality is nationality. You can consider good. So I would tell the default value should be no. If somebody gives the value, if no, they are not giving anything, it is understood. It is no. If they are giving anything, then only it should consider as a S. This is how it goes on. So these are the restriction or the condition which we are keeping for creating this employee table. I told you, right? There are levels of rules. This is the first basic level to create the table. Long back, what you have assumed, oh, table creation means so easy. Just one column, a table name, multiple columns will be there. For that columns, whatever data you want, you keep on giving the value. That is what you are thinking. But now you got one basic idea. Oh, whenever I have to create a table, I cannot have 100 columns in one table. First, I should divide the tables. What is necessary? The basic necessary details in one table, the secondary details in another table, the much more lighter data in another table. Like that, I have to create the different tables, and I have to build in the relationship among them. Upon that, whenever I'm creating putting up the values inside that, before that I should think what kind of rules I should be putting inside that. This is how you should be thinking, and this is the first stage or first set of rules which you have to learn. Now if somebody asks you what are the constraints we have for the table creation, how many constraints you have seen now? In front of you only you have. it is 5. One more you have, so I can tell it here. It is unique. Means instead of telling something like, only unique, it could be empty also. But if you want to give it as unique, you can go with a unique information. You can just have this condition in certain columns. So this is also one of the constraint. So we will be using one by one in our table creation. So that time it will help us to create the table. But some basic idea did you get when we have to go with these particular conditions? Idea is what I'm asking. I know doubts will be there, because you should get doubt at this stage, because I have not given a complete information. I've only given you how to use it. That's it. With the explanation which I've given till there, it is clear to everyone. Yes or no? I know it's already about to 10 o'clock. Most of you, I don't think so. Most of you, for most of you, your good night will start at 12 o'clock. Good morning will start at 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning. But still, only for today, even though you are scolding me internally, I want you to sit and listen, because I don't want to postpone this concept for the further days. I hope I am not boring you, but I am just conveying you a few things here which are important. Yeah. Now, what is your duty is that on the previous day we have got information, right? That table, where is it? That note which I have, document which I have shared, right? Let me just go to that particular sheet. Just give me 1 minute quickly. I'll go to that sheet which I have shared it. In the group I have to sent to know that, where is it? To a table creation. Yeah, got it. I hope screen is visible. Yeah. So if you observe here, today you will get little idea about this table creation. If you read this, see, create table departments, where department ID is a column name. Inside that, what is the data type? Number. Data type, you forget. I have not spoken about it. Only just observe the syntax. Okay. Then what is the condition I have given it here? Can you see? Name should not be empty. When you go to a company, department name will 100% there. If there is no department name, where for which department you will join? Correct. So that is one. Manager ID, location ID, constraint department ID. This is a complete name. Okay, constraint department ID PK, that is a name they have given, a primary key, and within that they have mentioned it. Okay, again they are referencing here. Okay, just avoid this for a time period. I'll come back to that. Whichever you are able to understand, just read it out. So wherever you find the constraints, just observe that. Only observing part I'm telling. Here also you have the primary key, then you have the foreign key, how they have given the syntax. Just observe. In detail, we will be understanding it in a table creation. Just look about it, how, and also this is how they have given inserted here. The values is insert into department values, and we were only giving the value. Here they have given the orders, department's name, the column name, and their values, like this. This is also one of the way to insert the value. Okay, so just observe. How much you observe and try to explore it, you will get a clarity. So I just want you to observe the syntaxes today, whatever we have it. I don't want to go through all the syntax here one by one. I want you to just refer to it only for today. After referring it, try it out. Means today we have understood the table creation. Just take a screenshot quickly, everyone. How to take the screenshot? Windows symbol, print screen, PRTSC, or the other commands if you're using the different systems. Windows symbol is there. Keep pressing that and click on that print screen button. There would be a screenshot. However, I have taken, I can share it to you. So what is the duty you have is, I would share a few queries, not the question, few queries. You have to check executing them. When you have to execute, only if you have already executed all this and you are getting the output for that. So if I execute, select start from departments, I'll tell run. So I'm getting the output. That means I have already saved departments. In front of you, I didn't do, I did it for previous, but so the table is still present in my system. So I am directly executing. After executing, whatever query I will send today, you have to just execute and see the output. That is the assignment for today. Will you be doing that? And I'll send the constraints note tomorrow before coming. You should read that and come. So yeah, I have taken your good night sleep time. Okay, if you're scolding me for today, I really accept it. I have no problem. So tomorrow, however, if you're not studying and coming, and when I ask the question, if you're not answering, that time I'll give the same scolding written back to you. So make sure that everybody will listen and just prepare whatever notes I'm sharing. Read it once and come back for next session. Okay. We have not done the dinner. Please go have the dinner now. Spend time with your family. Today, as I've mentioned, one tip which I want to give for everyone is that please improve your typing skill. I have seen a few students who types in only two fingers. If I tell, please type what is your name, they'll take one finger and start checking where is W, where is H, where is A. They'll come in a order wise from QWERTY, that is from Q till M. They'll go line by line. Where is W, where is H? That kind of level, that kind of experience you have. So good, that is good for you. But in terms of interview, it is very difficult. If interviewers see that kind of experience in typing, they will tell, please go now only to home. So to avoid that, there would be a time limit when you are giving the programming round and all. So just start practicing typing in both the hands. First of all, improvise that. How to improvise? Whatever you see, now you are listening to my lecture, you want to make a note. Don't, instead of making a note in a hard book, I mean a notebook and the pen, use your system only. Open the notepad, keep it ready. When I'm telling, type it. Or else, no ma'am, initially I'm facing issue. Okay, no, make a note in your notebook only. After the session, sit and practice in your system. Sit and type the same thing in your system. One, you are repeating the same thing again. It is a one type of revision. Secondly, you are improvising your typing skill also. By the time we complete SQL, the whatever your typing speed you have currently, I hope you will improvise it by the time we complete SQL. That is a promise which everyone should keep it today, and you have to do it before we complete it. Okay. One second thing which I want to give it as an input. How many have created your LinkedIn account? All of you have your LinkedIn accounts? There's one application called as LinkedIn. Yes. Okay, good that you have created. I would suggest that please refer to a few employees who are already working in the IT industry. Check their profiles, how they have created their profiles. If you see their profiles, what is that about information they have given, or maybe you see the job descriptions when they have the jobs, how they are posted, that information also you see. Then you will get to know how you should design your own page. Ma'am, placement should happen through BGS. Yes, I agree with that. But you also have the chances outside. Even the placement happens in the BGS, they'll you can give your LinkedIn credentials, I mean LinkedIn ID to them, so that if they go through your LinkedIn, they should get impressed. That is how you have to create your LinkedIn account. Okay, so if you have already created, well and good. If you have not created, please, as an take this whole week. One day we cannot change anything. Take this whole week, day by day. Please create it. Okay, improvise your profiles. Putting beautiful images in Facebook, Instagram, keep that away for certain days. Today, I mean, now onwards, your current important duty is to update your LinkedIn account by putting beautiful or interesting keywords over there. That you can do it for next few days. Once you get the job, I will not be forcing you. Please put this. Please attend the session. Please revise. Nobody will be there to tell that once you get the job. But until that, we are here to push you up to get the job. So these two things you have to do it. Take it as a tip. Follow that. Okay, so have a great night. Doubts, whatever you have, please do practice. I cannot take up the doubts, it's already late. So whatever doubts you have, put it in groups. I'll clear one by one. If not done cleared, tomorrow we have a time. So tomorrow we'll discuss. We'll like an extend and we can discuss. Okay, I'll be sharing the document tomorrow morning, or most probably, I don't think I can share. If it is possible today, I'll share the queries. Maximum tomorrow I'll share it. Before maybe 10 o'clock morning I'll share. Okay, have a great night. Sorry for taking the class late night. So let's all meet tomorrow. Thank you.